Ah, look at that. Look at that. I gotta fix the paint though, and that hood. I know I've said it like probably 4 times already, but it's gonna happen. And then I actually found the hood bra. I've had one of those for a really long time. So yeah, anyways, we gotta get gas though, because you can't do anything if you don't have any gas. Alright, guys, well that's pumping. I'll go ahead and say I gotta get to the shop. It's actually really early. I just decided to get up super early, like I said, actually in the recap, that I'm going on vacation. Technically, Allison's sister is graduating college, so I'm actually going out to Maryland, and I'll be there for like, I don't know, 10 days-ish? I don't know. So I'm gonna try to hit up Philly. I'm gonna try to go to New York, because you guys out there on the East Coast are like literally 2 hours to anything that seems cool. Here on the West Coast, we've got California. You drive 2 hours, you're not really out of kind of the Bay Area, I don't know, but if you drive like 4 hours out, you're in the middle of nowhere. So it's really interesting to me that from like Maryland, New York, or DC is only like a 4 to 5 hour drive. That's pretty sick. Anyways, guys, I gotta get to the shop. I really want to get a lot of work done to the sole. As you've been seeing, I've been trying to put in a lot more effort. I got the bumper on already. I'm gonna head to the shop. Last night, actually, I pressed in new hard race bushings into the ITR LCAs that came with the Ohlins I bought. So I'm gonna try to throw those on to find out if they're blown. Hopefully they're not. They actually feel good, and I like how high my car is because there's no adjustability on them. But the dampening is also set to the spring rate, so I trust Ohlins, so it's probably gonna handle really well. Anyways, let's get going. Alright, so we're at the shop. I'm just going to try to get stuff done. I'm going to go ahead and apologize right off the bat. I don't really explain anything that I do, and it's mainly because I'm not really that maybe great at explaining what I'm doing, but I like just doing it. And then if I sit here and try to explain, I'll never get this done. And like I said, I'm leaving in a couple days, so I don't want to just put in front suspension and then get busy and then never get to the rear, or vice versa. But I'm basically here. I'm at the shop. I'm just doing it right here on the floor to knock it out before anyone gets here. So let's just, run through where I'm at right now. So, alright, so, caught the guard jacked up. It's on a jack stand, of course. Everyone be safe. That one's for you, Wrench Life. I feel you. So, I got it on a jack stand. I'm just going to do one side at a time. I try to do both sides, but then I was just like, you know what, let's just keep going. It gets back to, just wanting to get shit done. I don't really care about efficiency, but here we go. So, we're here underneath. I kind of already started, but I'll go ahead and run through it again. You have the lower fork, the bolt that's right here that tightens to the damper, and that actually keeps it attached to this. So I'm going to do it the kind of cheater method. I'm going to knock out the, I think it's a 17 down here. I got the nut off, luckily, hashtag Milwaukee. Get that off. I'll hit it with the hammer and get the bolt out. I unscrewed this guy, which separates this, and so when I knock out the bolt down here, it should drop the fork, and then I could get the 2 bolts right here. We got 1 and 2. Take these 2 out, and the whole damper should drop back out. And then to put it back together, you do the same thing, but this time it's going to be weird because you have the damper and stuff, so to go backwards it's a little bit more tricky, but not really. You just got to finagle the fork into that, and then try to get the fork lined up down here, and you know what I mean. So it's definitely a process, but it's pretty easy to knock out. Front suspension's pretty easy. The rear isn't so bad. Just you always got to remember to lift up the rear and torque it down like at level under load, so you don't screw up with the bushings and anything like that. So I'm probably going to throw you on time lapse, get this side knocked out, do the other side, and then attack the rear. Alright, so these are Ohlins. I found them on HMO Motors. I don't actually know the condition of these guys, so I'm really hoping that they're not blown, but you never know unless you try, right? So these are pretty old. They came off an EG6 that I guess got imported in from Japan. The bushings up here look not terrible. They look really bad, like someone's actually repainted the springs. But first things first, I want to get them on the car, drive them for a little bit. I have a lot of faith in Ohlins, obviously. I don't think I can get them rebuilt unless I pull in a super big favor from Ohlins. But either way, I want to throw them in, drive them around. If they're still good, then I'll take them out again and clean them up, repaint the springs. We actually have top hats that I might be able to use and stuff, so that would be cool if I can get some, cool spherical top hats or anything better than this, maybe, just to, spruce it up a bit. But yeah, reverse process. Basically put it back in, start the 2 nuts at the top so that way it can hold, and then just try to wedge everything back in. Alright, cool. So we're in. Ohlins are in. I got it tied up there. This was actually pretty easy, so awesome. Essentially what I like to do is tighten everything by hand as best as possible. And honestly, the reason I do that is because I have a really high tolerance, or not tolerance, I don't know what the word is for, always strip a bolt or cross thread or something like that. So I've been, you know, making strives to not rush things. And so usually it would just get a little tight and I'd be like, oh, it's just fucking greasy and shit. Try to wipe it off, try it again, and then you're screwed, right? So essentially what I'm doing is just trying to make sure, clean it, go all the way, and as soon as it's actually like up against whatever it needs to be, then I go ahead and torque shit down. That's where we're at now. So I'm gonna go ahead, button all this up, and get the wheel on and drop it and see where we are height-wise. All right, so we're on the ground. You can kind of see the gap we got here. It's probably exactly a little 2-finger gap. Obviously I like to run a little lower, but I'm not gonna put it past these guys from knowing height. Obviously they're not height adjustable, so I'm just gonna rock with it. I had it actually a little higher than I usually like. I'm not trying to be slammed out of control, you know what I mean? I mean I like it for sure. I like it, but I'm going for usable. Check these things out, you know what I mean? So it's definitely a usable height, especially like a trackable height. That's, you know, kind of where I'm going for right now with the Soul. Anyways, super happy at how fast that went on. I'm not really gonna cheat me doing the other side, so the next clip you probably will see is probably when I start the rear. I kind of want to knock this out pretty quick, and that actually didn't take that long. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The next clip you see will probably be me taking apart the rear. All right, passenger side. I know I said the next thing you'd see is the rear, but I just want to show you guys top hat to top hat. Let's move these up. So lower, I guess from the tops, right? Line the tops up. That's how much longer they are. So, I mean, I could have spun this cup down a little bit more, but just so you can see the difference, you know. Alright guys, just so you know I'm not lying, here we go. Next thing you see is rears. And so, yeah, rears are a smidge bit about a little different than the fronts. It's not as easy, but it is just as easy because Honda is our friend and they don't want us to have to struggle with anything. So I just have to remove the LCAs that we got here. So it's 1 bolt, 2 bolt, and then I'll do this 3rd bolt, and then obviously at the top you take the 2 just like the front. But I'll be replacing them with these, basically essentially a lot like ITR rear ICAs, or LCAs rather. So that's what we're gonna have to do, obviously, because we have a rear fork and the EG6 didn't. It's definitely a lot like this. It's a lot like the ITR, so we got to use these. Definitely not as pretty. So I mean, this will have to go, but if I can afford it one day in the future, maybe I'll get billet ones to match. Who knows? But until then, I spent last night putting in new hard race bushings. That was a feat in itself because I'd never done it before, and these never came out, so there was a lot of popping and reconfiguring. But either way, I'm gonna try to knock this out here. Shouldn't be too bad. I will pop in with videos along the way as to what's going on. Camera is literally about to die, so hopefully I can just get a couple more shots and then we can go. But like I said, 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, and then the 2 up top, and then I will come back when I'm actually reassembling everything. Literally battery at like 1%, so passenger side still need to do. Driver side is basically done. That wasn't too bad. I basically am just making it level so the bushings don't bind and stuff. If I'm doing this wrong, go ahead and roast me. Otherwise, I'm just putting it at technical load technical load just to sound fancy. But yeah, making about even where it would be on load, giving them a couple blaps, probably gonna torque them down, and then we'll go from there. All right, I might not film the other side because I'm trying to knock this out. I'm just trying to work as fast as I can, guys. So yeah, I might show you what this looks like when I'm done. All right, guys, sorry you're getting a lot of this view right now, but suspension's in, everything's torqued down, tightened down. I'm about to drop the car and see where we're sitting. GoPro's at 1%, so I don't know how long this is gonna last, but I mean, it went pretty smooth, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna drop the car, and then I'll give you a good look around how the car actually looks on the ground, and then I'll let my camera charge a bit, and maybe go drive it around. So yeah, well, before it dies, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully they're not blown and they're pretty good. Yeah, boy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog now. The car is getting aligned. Luckily, I was able to grab Travis before he left, and I was like, look, man, I just swapped everything and I moved everything in all kinds of directions. Can you hook it up with an alignment before you bounce? So he's doing that now. So that's cool. I drove it around just a little bit, and I gotta say, it drives really, really well. I'm not too happy with how high the rear is, but I'm gonna play around with that. There's no real preload adjustment or anything like that, but I'm gonna swap out the top hats. Maybe I can get a little room there, play with some spring rates, maybe throw a helper in. I don't know. I just gotta mess with it. I don't like the way it sits right now. I'll show you guys in a minute. But in the next video, hopefully I'll give you a little bit more insight on how it drives, how it feels and stuff like that. Because because it actually feels really, really good, but I can't tell if it's because of the height and stuff. But either way, it's usable. I take turns really fun. And when I hit in the bumps, I'll find out more when I hit the freeway, see how bumpy it really is. But so far, it looks really good. But let me go ahead and show you. So I got this going on. It's like 3 fingers up here, and then here is like a solid 2. So not terrible, I know, but I'm a ricer at heart, guys. I'm not gonna lie, and I kind of want more low. So stay tuned, more low. Hopefully coming soon. I got to do a lot of adjustments, and then maybe I can get some billet LCAs and get a little bit there too. We'll figure it out. Anyways, guys, this kind of been probably a long one, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. I will be kind of like traveling for the next few days, so get ready to see some cool vlogs. I'm just gonna go ahead and vlog my trip. Gonna go to Philly, gonna go to New York, and then I'll be in Maryland and stuff like that, so should be fun. Either way, like, subscribe if this is your first time watching. Thank you, man. Appreciate ya. Stick around. I got more videos on the way. Peace.